Hello, my friends on YouTube. I'm very sorry about this delay. However, today is the 5th of December 2021. Today's video is the death of Muhammad, the founder of the Islamic thought. We spoke about a little bit about Muhammad's life, and I think it's very important also to speak about his death, because when we know the life of a person from birth to death, we get to know something about him. Let me start by saying each human being, without exception, has three very important days in his or her life. This is the day you are born, the day you die, the day you get married, and the day you die. When a person is a child, is a baby about to be born, the parents anticipate his or her coming, the grandparents, the family, the friends, all the relatives, the neighbors, and they celebrate the coming of this new life. The same thing with marriage. When a person is getting married, his brothers and sisters, his parents, and from the other side also, the two families get together, the friends and their neighbors and the relatives and everybody. And this is a very important day also in each person's life. And death, the day of death, it's also a very important day in human life. Because when we die, also the people that we loved and we had interaction with them, our children, our neighbors, our friends, these people, they come to pay respect. So really, you can learn a lot about a person, especially at the time of his or her death. So if you have good people coming to pay respect to that person must have led a good life, and he touched these many people. If nobody is coming, it means he or she didn't touch anybody. And also the quality of people coming. If drug dealers coming to pay respect, then you must have been one of the mafia, and so on and so forth. I'm saying this as an introduction because I would like to speak about Muhammad's death. Already his birth I spoke about in the last two videos. It was not really the best. Someone may say, oh, but also Jesus' birth was, to be born in a stable. I don't speak about Jesus. I don't know much about the Bible. Okay? So if you want to speak about Jesus, I may try to invite a guest who knows about the Bible and he can answer these questions. I'm working on that. But I will speak about Muhammad. His birth was not very good. His marriage also. The first marriage was not very good. Because in Arabia, to marry a woman, that's almost the age of his mother. She was 15 years older than him. And she was married twice before. Okay, the first husband divorced her. The second time he died. So she was 40, he was 25. That's not, in Arabia, that's not the best marriage. Something wrong. Then it's okay. Let's examine the day of his death, because that's an important day too. When we look at Muhammad, I'm going to put the a video that I made about a year and a half ago. It was called The Root of Sunni Shiite Hostility. And I spoke a little bit about, excuse me, about how the hate and the hatred between Muslim Sunni and Muslim Shiite, and why they are slaughtering each other. Like if you look, for example, the hostility in Yemen, the Sunni in Saudi Arabia are destroying, killing the Shiite in, they're called the Houthi in Yemen. In Iraq, the Sunni and the Shiite, they are slaughtering each other. In Egypt, in everywhere. So there is an anger. It is rooted at the time of Muhammad's death. Actually, it's even before that. And the reason here, reality is, as the saying goes, there's no honor in the den of thieves. If these people really were spreading something of good value, something that it is good, something that it will help humanity, not themselves, humanity, then the dispute should always be how to help people, not to be concerned about how much booties I'm getting, how many versions I'm getting, how much sex I'm going to have. No, you should be concerned with the life of others. But that was not the case, and we're going to look carefully about how Muhammad's death, because from examining his death we'll get to know so many things. Muhammad was a very strong man, healthy, no problem. And just before his death he was 63 years old, which was not really that old, but from very strong man to suddenly he became extremely ill. And then Aisha, his younger bride, said that he told her that a Jewish woman gave him lamb meat to eat, and it was poisoned, and that was 4 years before. Probably some poison works slowly in the human body or in any body, but if so, then the person will start to deteriorate slowly until he comes 4 years later to die. But Muhammad was very strong until 4 years later he collapsed at once. During this 4 years he fought many battles, he invaded many many tribes, he married many women. So that is not a sick man or physically sick. He was a sick man, but I'm talking about physically. And then he collapsed, and his wife Aisha, the young bride, says the Jewish woman gave him poisoned food. Now I'm not with Sunni or Shiite, but the Shiite, they have the story right. What is the story? Muhammad gave hint that his nephew Ali, the fourth caliphate, was supposed to take over when he dies. The first two caliphate are the people who really fought and went to battle, and they were a bunch of gangsters. They killed, they slaughtered, they spilled so much blood, and they could have been killed. It's not like they killed that other people. When you fight in a war, people fall from both sides. So in a way, they put their lives on the line. Of course, they got booties in exchange, but they put their lives on the line. And they were older, and they thought, because I'm older and I'm wiser, I can have a charisma and I can control things better, so I should be leading. So the two oldest, Abu Bakr, the oldest one, and the father of Aisha, the wife of Muhammad, and the second one, Omar, the second caliphate, and his daughter also married to Muhammad. The two men and their daughters, who are Muhammad's wives, got together, made a plan, and they poisoned Muhammad. Why do we say that? Because only Aisha is the one who said, the Prophet told me that he was poisoned 4 years ago by a Jewish woman. First, there was no Jewish people left, because Muhammad killed them all, and those who were not killed, they fled. So there was no Jewish or Christian left. So the story doesn't hold. Okay? And he said that the Jewish woman, after he killed her tribe, she invited him for dinner. I mean, how can that be? If a person killed all of my relatives, all of my tribe, after he is done, I tell him, oh, hey, come here, let's have a cup of tea together, or I make you a nice dinner. It doesn't work this way. But even if she did with the intention to poison him, he must have been very stupid. Anybody who accepts a meal after I murder all of your tribe, and I accept a meal from you, I'm very stupid. Because I know that you will try as hard as you could to poison that, to kill me. So the story does not hold. However, the story from the Shia holds better. It's not that I'm supporting the Shia. They are both following Muhammad. I don't care. All right? But when they say it was the two women, the two wives of Muhammad, and their fathers, Abu Bakr and Omar, are the ones who plot together to kill Muhammad, yes, that holds more water. Why? Because they knew that Muhammad wanted his nephew to take over after he dies. And they wanted to take over after he dies. So it's better to work together with their daughters and poison this guy. Let's get him out of the way so that all the booties, all the looting is with us. We are in charge here. We are in charge. Now, when Muhammad died, Muslim took tradition from the Jews, because there were many Jewish people in Arabia, and the Jews are very careful how to treat their dead. If a Jewish person dies, normally as soon as possible, he has to be buried as quickly as possible. If he died in the morning, by the end of the day he or she should be buried. Cannot stay. It's not like in the rest of the world. You can wait 2 or 3 days, or even sometimes a week, until everybody gather and pay respect, and then that person is buried. It's not the same. And when we read in the Sirah, what they did is they left him dead for 3 days in Arabia. The temperature in Arabia, it goes to 50 degrees centigrade. That is close to 145, 150 during the day. That is very hot. And the body will rot very quickly. They didn't care. They let him rot they let the smell of the rotten flesh come up, and they were not busy preparing for his burial. They were not busy calling heads of states or people to come to pay respect. They were not arranging for the funeral. None of that. None. They were busy fighting almost physical fight with one another. Why? Because the people from Mecca were divided now between the camp who support Omar and Abu Bakr and their wives, their daughters, I'm sorry, they were the wives of Muhammad, and the camp of Ali, who is the nephew of Muhammad. I would say the camp of Ali is more true to the teaching than the Sunni, honestly, because they are both thieves, okay? But at least Ali is honest that he wanted to follow the command of his uncle, Muhammad. But he would do the same like Omar and Abu Bakr. Anyway, and on the other hand, the people from Medina who supported Muhammad, they also wanted to be in charge. So they were divided, and almost they almost could have started fighting each other with sword, and they could have finished one another at this time. However, under the leadership of Omar, the second caliphate, he managed to control the situation, and things started to look okay, and they buried Muhammad. After that, he put the first caliphate, Abu Bakr. He was the father of Aisha. He was an old man, and he didn't know how to manage. Okay, let's put it this way. But he was put as the one who takes care of things. Behind him was Omar, directing him. A couple of years later, he was murdered. He was poisoned and died. 14 years later, Omar, the one who was the strongest guy, he was also murdered. They were all four, they called them the rightful caliphate. All of them killed each other. Now, when a head of a state, because Muhammad at this time, he was a head of a state. And when a head of a state dies, he should receive a funeral as a head of a state. People from surrounding towns and villages and even countries come to pay respect. And his followers, the main concern for them was that dignifying burial, to get him ready where all these people come to pay respect, and he will be buried an honorable burial. And then we can talk after that and find out who is going to take over or take charge or whatever. No, it was the opposite, which explains to us that there is no honor in the den of thieves. Okay? They were mainly concerned with how much money I make, how much I can get out of that. Yes, it was, you could say, almost united group after Muhammad died. But very soon they started murdering each other, and soon it started to split to Sunni and Shiite, and you conquer here, I conquer here, I loot here, you loot here. And the pain and anguish and the hostility between the two groups is until this very day. So Muhammad, his three most important days, that his birth, his marriage, and his death, he was a tormented man. We thank you very much. We hope to hear from you. Bye.